Vice Chair Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner Waltuck,
Yes.
and Chair Taylor. Yes. Okay. Great, thank you. And next we have our staff comments.
Wonderful, thank you. So this evening, the first announcement I wanted to make is that I know there were a number of letters regarding the Midtown mural in your packet, but that item is not on the agenda this evening because we do not have a full report prepared. We have conservators coming to evaluate the artworks, and the property owner has someone coming to evaluate the wall. So once we've come back to the commission in October or potentially November. The next item is California Avenue Tunnel, which hopefully was only in disrepair for a short period of time. Significant tagging, as close as we can tell. It happened sometime on Saturday. And so staff went out there to start working on, and we were able to have most of it removed sections for us yesterday. So it is, that's the after shot. It had 2 BART hair. The unfortunate or very kind of extensive graffiti doesn't happen to us that often, but we were able to get it repaired as I have for staff this evening. And I noticed Commissioners Shen and Mia.
Elise, I don't know if anybody else is having this issue, but you're going in and out, just so you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps, is this a little bit better if I go off camera?
Kind of, yeah. Let's give it a try.
Okay, so were you able to hear the update on the California Avenue Tunnel?
I was. Anybody else? Also.
Sounds
Yes.
like it was tagged and you're repairing it. Will it get back to its original state?
It has already been repaired and is better than it was before it was tagged.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay, any other staff comments, Elise? Or is that-
No, that is all I have this evening.
Wonderful. We'll move on to our first action item of 2. Let's start with code art.
So please let me know if you cannot understand me. We know that previously when we allocated the funds for code art, we allocated the funding for the anchor installation and the urban interventions. And we were going to need to return with an additional amount of funds for things like rentals, security, all the additional staff required to support the event. So this evening, we are requesting funds in the amount of up to $7,000. That would be $5,000 up to $5,000 that would cover costs for rental equipment, such as power, overnight security for the three nights of the festival, the rental hours, and installation and safety equipment. There's an additional request for up to $2,000 that would go for Giant Creative, who is our event coordinator, for additional costs involved with with additional staffing, making sure that there's enough space due to COVID constraints and an escalation in staff cost since the time we entered into a contract with them pre-COVID. So that's the request. We're happy to answer any questions you may have. And I was hoping at this time we might also invite the commissioners who are part of the ad hoc committees to update the rest of the commission on the recruitment process for volunteers and for business partners.
Great. First of all, any questions, thoughts, comments about the allocation of funds? And then we can discuss what we've been doing since our last meeting. Nope. Okay. So should we share our ad hoc to-dos, what we've been doing? I guess I'll start. So I'm working with Lisa, and Lisa, I'll just share what I've done and then you can share what you've done. So we're tasked with reaching out to potential volunteers, and Lisa and I created a Google spreadsheet. And I started by reaching out to some local organizations like the Youth Community Service Club, Kiwanis Club, I'm blanking on all the other clubs, the Rotary Club. Also, I've reached out to the Palo Alto Pacific Art League and a couple of other arts organizations, and many of them have responded back saying, yes, we'll share it with our constituents. I know we've had some volunteer responses already. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm excited to get more volunteers. And I will be volunteering. I'm just waiting for everybody else to volunteer before I can say, okay, I'll help with this or that or everything in between. So that is my quick report. Lisa, do you want to share?
So I have just been reaching out to schools. I have more to do, but I have reached out to Gunn and the student activities coordinator there. I'm just working on Menlo and the kids there. So I've just started with schools, but I'm gonna get more onto it this week. I was gone all last week, so this is my week to dive in. So I'll be contacting more organizations and groups and friends and just networking.
I mean, I'm not sure if the museums are open, but I was just kind of thinking like the Stanford museums, for instance, I think they probably draw a good crowd, and or their online access presence may be also useful.
That's a good question. I will say I reached out to the Stanford art department and art history department. And I don't know about reaching out to the Cantor. I know that hopefully the Palo Alto Art Center Foundation, and I'm sure there's a lot of crossover. But Elise, I don't know if you have any thoughts about the Cantor or Anderson.
I don't have a contact there for necessarily for recruiting volunteers, but I am in touch with someone in the arts department who is happy to distribute these opportunities to students. And I also wanted to just share that we do have a few slots that are not on the volunteer list that we were hoping would be filled by either a commissioner or staff. So those are not leading tour.
When will you share those with us? Because I did sign up on the general volunteer list. So I'm signed up to volunteer already. And so if you need a commissioner on a specific task, can you let us know that? Because I won't be able to be two places at once. And then I can give up that spot to other people.
You mean you haven't learned how to clone yourself yet? So
I'd love to be two places.
Yeah, so Amy on our team, who has come aboard to help us with code art, is going to update the sign up sheet so it's clear to you all where the opportunities are for
Okay.
commissioners, but we want to make sure we have a commissioner or staff at the information table at all times.
Okay, yeah, that will be fun. And that's gonna be like doing the code art event, right? Because I think that's what I've signed up for.
Yes.
Okay.
And thinking of
Yes.
commissioners signing up for things, I also reached out to
Also,
former commissioners.
I thought we
too,
needed,
so.
That's great.
and
Sorry,
and
Lisa.
also I thought we needed some commissioners to do tour guide duties. Is that going to be coming in information later?
Yes, it will be. It's something that we're more comfortable with staff or commissioners doing, so we didn't have it in the public sign up.
Got it. Sorry,
Because they
Elise,
may
you're
not
still
be as
going in and out
knowledgeable
for
or
me.
may-
I'm sure I'm missing
Yeah.
some of what you're saying.
And Cindy, to go back to your comment about reaching out to Stanford,
Yeah.
the Anderson Collection, just a friendly reminder to reach out to your
Knowledgeable or
connections
may-
too.
Yep. Will do.
Because I know we have a couple of other people here who are connected in some way, maybe to the Anderson or Cantor. Lauren, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
So, and I've been reaching out to people as well. So that's the best we can do, but I think we're going to get a good turnout. I'm excited.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I
I
like.
think you'll be great. Yeah, agree.
Schools in the art center too. I'm fairly confident that the Cantor Arts Center and Anderson Collection will not share their volunteer list with us, but we can always ask them to send forward our documents, and then they at free will can sign up. So I'll ask them that. I know the chair of the membership executive council, and she can send that to the volunteers because they're always looking for opportunities to be involved
Yeah.
in art.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Just because I'm having a good Wi-Fi connection right now, I think I'll jump in and let you know what Ben and I did for the business community. We went around on Tuesday, the Tuesday after Labor Day, and I'd say we probably hit about 15 different places.
Yep.
Not all were receptive to having connection with code art. A lot of them, unfortunately, don't have the decision-making power. So sometimes we would get the correct person to get in contact with. So I've started following up. We created a Google Doc, and I've started following up with the people that we met. I did another run through Palo Alto. There's a community, I can't remember what it's called right now because I don't have the document in front of me, but there's a lot of community events happening. So I attended a concert at Lytton Plaza and brought some postcards with me there, and then hit some other businesses and was able to get a few more posters up. But we haven't had, in my opinion, a meaningful connection with many of the business owners or business managers. We did have a nice talk with Timothy of Timothy Adams Chocolates, and he has not gotten back to Ben or, as far as I know, Elise yet. So I need to follow up with him, and we'll just keep working it. So we have some posters up, which we're really happy about, but as far as collaborations, I feel like we haven't made a lot of headway there. Elise and Nadia and Ben, I would love your feedback on that as well. And I'm happy to share this list, this Google Doc list with you guys at any time, so you can know the businesses that are supporting us and at least putting our flyers and postcards out. So Ben, any comments?
I think the biggest problem we ran into was a lot of the places were chains. So as Lauren was saying, they didn't have the decision-making power to do that. And they had to go up the chain to do that. So, and then after the first few we went into and we realized there were chains, we kind of went more towards local business
Yeah.
to try to get more participation. So, and I think University Avenue is going to be closed to after Code Art. So I think that's going to really help too with foot traffic and stuff. So, and I think somebody was saying that that might be a big plus to get more businesses to collaborate.
Mhm. So we're getting the word
Streets
out
are
there.
scheduled to be
Oh, go ahead, Elise.
The streets are scheduled to reopen October 15th. So the weekend of Code Art would be the last weekend of the closure on University.
That's amazing.
It's good for us, for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
They are excited about it. The ones who are familiar with it are very excited about it. They just, a lot of them don't have decision-making power. So we just have to keep after it and see if we can get, still getting our names out, right? Which is good. Or the event name out, which is good.
Thank you. Quick question. Is there, Elise, this is for you. Is there going to be an article written about Code Art before it happens in Palo Alto Weekly? If so, great. If not, is there anything we can do to help? And
Yeah.
the second thing is, I don't know what it costs these days to do an ad, but I'm wondering if having like a little ad in the weekly or online or something would be beneficial.
I had the exact same comment because I'm subscribed to Palo Alto Weekly online and Facebook. It always pushes, news to me, and I think this will be actually a really great way to get publicity.
So the advertising we can look into. I know there are very strict rules about how much funding and what kinds of things can be advertised with city funds. It is on the Palo Alto online calendar. The press decides to cover or not, but the weekly has generally been very generous with covering our events. And we are certainly sending out press releases and information.
Great.
And if I may chime in on Lisa's comment here, the event has been posted on Palo Alto community calendar, their online calendars. So we try to just utilize as many free promotional avenues that are available to us. And of course, also utilize our social media platforms regularly just to push the event out to our best ability.
I've been following this news on Palo Alto Weekly about University Avenue and California Avenue closing. And so I think this actually may be an interesting update if we piggyback off of that news about when University Avenue is going to be closed, and this will be the last sort of weekend before it's closed. I think that may be an interesting, that may be of interest to people.
You can use it as an angle, you're saying, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Good
I
idea.
have a quick question. Where is the volunteer sign up sheet online, or does somebody control that?
Yes, Commissioner Miyagi, the volunteer sign up link is on our public art program website. There is
Okay.
a page designated to Code Art. So if you go to cityofpaloalto.org/Code Art, you will see a call for volunteers and volunteer sign up link right there.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other last minute questions, comments, thoughts? Lauren?
Chair Taylor, should I make a motion about those funds? How would I didn't know if we had to do that or not. I'm just asking.
Yes, I was just about to get there, but you can start. Lauren,
Oh.
go ahead and make a motion.
Okay, I move that we approve of up to $7,000 for Code Art and the funds that might be needed for installation, power, giant creative, etc.
I second.
Okay, and we have to do our all in favor roll call. So I'll start with Commissioner Miyagi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walczak,
Yes.
Commissioner Shen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gordon,
Yes.
and Chair Taylor, yes. Okay, thank you, everyone. Now we'll move on to our second agenda item, which is the public safety building temporary murals.
Thank you, Commissioner. I can take this one item on. Let me just share my screen quickly. Here we go. Okay. So you will know, we successfully installed the first round of 4 murals around the public safety building construction site on during August 8th and 19th and 20th. So we expect to keep these present murals on site for up to a year. I've been just monitoring how they hold up. It's a really active construction site, just checking for any possible damages. So far, so good. We're really pleased with this type of material. It's not glossy or reflective. It doesn't really show dust as much as a glossy type of M3 vinyl. We also installed on-site signage with the linked QR codes that take viewers to additional multimedia information about the commission and the artists. So far, so good. As we are gearing up to move forward, I just wanted to walk you through just the site quickly before make the request for funding. So it's a big site. It's almost 1 linear mile in fencing. So when we earlier had our public artist selection panel, the panel actually went ahead and selected all 8 artists for both rounds. So to enable us to go ahead and initiate contracts for design development with the second round of artists, just kick off that design development process, and slowly, without rushing, go into production and just start planning on the installation for the next summer. We would like to request that the Public Art Commission today approves funding in the amount of $36,000 for the artist design, fabrication, and installation of phase 2. And just before I leave you with discussion, I just wanted to share the list of artists who were selected and approved by the commission for the second round. They're all California-based artists, just like the first round. It's Eva Struble, Deborah Ashheim, Alice Lee, Judy Luce. We've been already in touch with all 4. They confirmed their availability and interest in going forward with the design development for the second phase. And let me know if you have any questions before you make the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. I had the opportunity to see these in person over the weekend, and they're gorgeous as always. So thank you to everybody involved. And I will say, Lauren, I know you mentioned one of the artists who's known for doing mosaics, that you were hesitant to choose them, but it looked great. So if you haven't seen them, go and check them out. And I look forward to seeing the next 4. Any questions, comments, thoughts about this before we approve or disapprove, but hopefully approve?
I also have to say, I haven't seen all of them in person. I've seen some in person, but they're so joyous and just really, uplifting. And I think they're great.
Thank you.
All of the artists did a great job following the design brief.
Absolutely. And I want to add, it was really fun to be installing on site, just overseeing the installation. And during those 2 days, we just got so much positive feedback from community members and, local merchants, and even, construction guys just coming out and taking pictures with the murals. It really transformed the site and just added so much vibrancy and color to the neighborhood. So we're rather pleased with the outcome.
And hopefully many more to come. So, great. So should we have a motion?
So moved.
Great. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, and all in favor, roll call. We'll start with Commissioner Shen,
Yes.
Commissioner Waltuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Miyagi,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gordon,
Yes.
and Chair Taylor, yes. Thank you. Okay, and now we're on to our non-action item, which is the King Artist Residency update.
Wonderful. If you can't hear me, let me know and Nadia can jump in. So we are all the applicants for the artist residency. We had an amazing group of artists who applied, and they were able to have an initial go through and then build the lid down a little bit. And then we were able to meet on Zoom and go through all of the applicants, the remaining applicants together, and had some really wonderful discussions. And each of the panelists, as you see here, through a different lens and brought some amazing insights and thoughts to the conversation and the deliberation. Ultimately, 3 finalists were selected: Heli Swin, Reyes Magos, and Kirti Basandine. They have accepted the challenge to create a final proposal. And so they're supposed to give a presentation that will be open to the public via Zoom, October 19th at 3 p.m. The 3 finalists will present their previous work, their previous experience with community engagement, and pitch their proposal for what they would like to take on in Palo Alto. If there's a community or a subject they would like to take on, identify potential nonprofit partners that they have contacted in the development of the proposal, and field questions from the panel. So that will be public, and then the public will have the opportunity to send any feedback to Nadia and myself. That meeting will conclude, and then the panelists will meet in private and take the public feedback and ultimately decide what to recommend to the Public Art Commission. So they may select 1 or 2 artists. They might come back and decide that none of these artists are appropriate, but I suspect they will come with 1 or 2 artists to recommend to the Public Art Commission. And then the Public Art Commission will have the opportunity to weigh in and approve those artists. Are there any questions?
Vice Chair Gordon.
Thank you. And thank you, Chair Taylor, for serving on this panel. I'm so excited about this project. So panel 2, October 19th at 3 p.m. I can't wait to be part of the public conversation on that. And I'm excited that public hasn't been invited. That's great. And then when will the panel meet again? Do you meet directly after that, or is that another date in the future?
They're scheduled to meet. They're scheduled to meet immediately after the presentations. They'll have a small break so that the public can, so that the staff can compile any feedback that came in from the public. And then they'll meet while it's very fresh in their minds.
That's great. So then we'll probably see their recommendation in November.
Let's see. What is the date of our October meeting? That's a good question. Our October meeting is the 21st, so it could potentially, it could come to you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Our meeting is 2 days after that. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, thoughts?
I have a
Yeah, Lisa.
question. Are there initial proposals part of the public? Like, can we access the art, the
And Elise, did you hear that or should I repeat?
I heard the question about proposals.
So Lisa wanted to know if commissioners, and I don't know if she meant also general public, can see any of the initial proposals.
The proposals will be the public presentation. So there's nothing submitted at this point.
Well, I guess my question is, didn't they, their initial application, did they just complete an initial application and that's the basis on which the 3 finalists were chosen?
Yes, as with many of our artist calls, they're selected based on their previous work and their previous experience. We do not ask for a proposal without compensating an artist.
I guess I just meant their initial I'm just wondering if it's if our commission or any person in the public would have a chance to see their initial application, just the finalists, or is that not in the public view?
Generally, we do not make those public, but
Okay.
Elise, we
can't hear
can't
you,
hear
Elise.
you.
the commission will get the fund.
Elise, it looks like you're muted and then we can't hear you.
Will get the
If I may chime in, I'm sorry about the overall quality of the meeting sound today. So as Elise mentioned, we generally do not make the initial artist applications available to the to public. I think we are happy to the proposals will be available to the Public Art Commission as those were requested of artists as publicly available documents, right? Publicly available materials. It wasn't a requirement for the first round of applications, so we're not able to share them publicly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Walter. That was a very good question. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Okay, well, we look forward to sharing the proposals with you on October 9th. Hopefully, most of you can make it to the meeting. And that is it for non-action items. And let's see. Elise, did you want to touch base again about the public letters? Or Nadia?
Yes, so the public letters were attached to the agenda. I hope you had a chance to review them. So we are, as Elise mentioned in staff comments in the beginning of the meeting, we're currently working with professional art conservators to provide us with another evaluation assessment of the condition of the artworks and the site. The public letters are not on the agenda as a discussion items, so they're just for your review, and we're looking forward to the discussion at the next Public Art Commission meeting when it's agendized. But I'm in close contact with ARG, a San Francisco-based art conservation organization. They were the group who provided us with collection assessment previously. And so I'm just waiting to finalize the dates for their on-site visit for the assessment. And we will provide you with a copy of that report as soon as possible.
Great, thank you, Nadia. And I will encourage all of you, if you haven't done already, to just check out the site, just so you know what we're discussing before we have our discussion at our next meeting or the meeting after, depending on the information that can be received. Okay, so that's it. And the next item on the agenda is announcements. I just want to let everybody know that there is the Silicon Valley Open Studios this weekend. So if you're an artist or you like art, please definitely take a look and see.
Thank you. That's going to be, there are a lot of artists listed there. So it's going to be a good one.
I think so.
I'm really excited to see you all in person, masked at Code Art.
Perfect. Okay, I think we're done. We can adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chair
Thank you.
Taylor. Wonderful meeting.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you all. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank